morning, everybody. It is definitely fall here in Ohio. It's just a little before 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and it is as still as a pin out here. About the only thing you hear in Ohio this time of year on quiet mornings like this is grain dryers, which I don't know if the camera's mic will pick it up, but there's one running across the field back over that way somewhere I can hear. They finally got the corn off around us this past week, and we had our first hard freeze last Thursday, I think it was. So the conditions now are frost everywhere. I showed you that one morning at the end of the last random video. It was the snow we had last Monday morning, which was a lot more than what we thought we'd get. Turned out to be almost an inch in spots. As you can see, it's pretty frosty out here this morning. Wow, really frosty in spots. And my poor little maple tree, he's turning for the year. And back over here we have what's left of the tomato crop, and sadly they met their demise when the frost came, the freeze came. It really wilted out that all the peppers. Thought you'd be able to see them very well. I'll have to come back here again in a few hours. Gorgeous morning. One of my wife's little flags she has around the yard here. Okay. Really frosty down there this morning. These maple trees are just beautiful this time of year. The last place I lived had about 5 of these in the backyard, and boy, they suck in the winter, in the fall. Boy, they made a lot of leaves. Sometimes you might go back here, you'd be up to your knees in leaves under the trees. Just crazy. That made a heck of a rhyme. Up to your knees in leaves under the trees. Okay. Probably about 36 out here this morning. It's actually pretty warm compared to what it has been the last few mornings, which is nice. Alright, on the agenda 1 for today is to get the loader off the tractor for winter. Got a few small jobs to do around here. Get the loader off of there and then go down and take it down, put it in the barn, and then clean the barn up. And that barn is a mess. Been piling, and I got to get this loader. I had the loader off for a while and mowed, and I put it back on because I had to move some gravel when we did the driveway project the week before last, and it's been on again since then. So I need to take it off finally for winter, store it down there where I need it in the barn, and then I can put the rest of the stuff in there and start organizing everything. Now what this tractor is a Kubota, and this is a model BX2200, and they had a sister with this. It was a BX1800 that was built in the year 2000. Now originally this tractor would have just been the tractor only, and you would have added everything else you wanted with it, which on this one it has a LA 211 48-inch bucket, which on vacation last week we modified it for some hooks. That way we could use log chains on it and stuff. And beefed them up inside with a piece of steel. It's about 1/4 inch thick, so there's going to be no twisting or turning. And we got real heavy 7/16 diameter bolts in there, so there shouldn't be no problem with that. Now this bucket is also made to be quick attached, which I do not have, which means when I want to drop the bucket, I got to take the whole loader off, which is this big pin here, and there's one on the other side. Now when you pull that loader, on this side, your control valve, and here's your other pin right here. When you pull this loader, this whole control valve comes off, and you disconnect your hydraulics. I don't know how well you can see them right here. Well, I've got a snowblower for this machine. You got to take this off and put the snowblower on the front down there. It bolts on there and in the bottom. And the snowblower's output runs off the PTO shaft that the mower deck's connected to. And the up and down of the snowblower is controlled by this valve. So once you take the loader off, you got to take the control box off of the loader assembly, which is this pin here and this pin down here, physically pick it up, this is crazy, and put it back on the tractor with this one pin, and then reconnect it into the system and to the snowblower subframe. That's a pain in the butt. That was a really poor design for this. I mean, they could have come up with something different, that you could have pulled the pin, you know, a major pin here and left that one, or you know, they could have pulled this one and left that one. You know, that's the way the book designed it. And I think after the thought, they issued a supplement in the manual because, oh, you know, this wasn't a good idea. Now we got to think of a way to make it work better. So it is what it is. 13 years ago, they should have decided something different, I really feel, because that's kind of a pain. Now this also has a 60-inch mower deck on it, which is really nice. This little tractor, believe it or not, actually has 22 horses under the hood. 3-cylinder diesel. And the engine is tiny. Here's your engine. It starts here and goes all the way back to about here. And you know, it's only about that wide, but it's tall. It's probably about 1 foot tall down, you know, deep down in there. Then you have your air cleaner. Here's your muffler in the front. Comes out. Discharges right there. And these are built backwards. The radiator's in the back, and it's filtered, 1 here and 2 out here. This is a little pre-filter right here. It sucks air in through, and it sucks it through this filter, and then it goes to the radiator. And then you also have a paper element filter here. So the filtration on this engine is top notch, and I have hardly ever had to clean much off of this thing except for what sticks out here. And also behind this cover is where your battery's at, and you know, access to all your electronics and whatnot. Now on the back, because it's dark back here, you probably won't be able to see it. There's also a Category 1 3-point hitch on this, and this 3-point hitch is actually like a mini, what they call it, a sub hitch or something like that. It's not a full Category Class 1 hitch, but they consider it a Class 1, if that makes any sense. It will utilize all Class 1 implements, but it doesn't have the arm span between the it doesn't have the distance between the arms back here like a normal 3-point hitch. It will consider, you know, it'll pick up Category 1 implements, let's just put it that way. And you have a knob for your mower deck height, PTO output selection, either back or mid. This is your mower deck PTO engagement. That knob under the seat right there is for the lowering speed of your PTO, of your implement or your mower deck. We have parking brake, and we have a differential lock. And this is a hydrostatic unit too, by the way. And on this side, we have our high-low speed selector. We have our implement raise and lower, and we have a 2-wheel, 4-wheel drive selector there. Here's our fuel tank. This will hold 6 gallons of diesel. Flashers on the back, of course. There's your control box for your loader, throttle. And when we bought this machine back at the end of May, it had just a little over 500 hours on it, which is pretty impressive for a 13-year-old machine. Most of the work that had been done on this by the previous owner was hydraulic line work. It had leaks here and there. Nothing major, just, you know, I think he took this loader off and on a lot. He had some leaks here, a couple leaks underneath, and looking online, these machines were pretty prone to having hydraulic leaks here and there for the first few years of their lives, and then they kind of quit. Don't know why. But, yep, it's a nice machine. If you ever have a chance to get your hands on it. Oh, and when I bought it, the guy threw in if I bought the whole tractor and the snow blower, he also gave me a free set of bar tires with it, mounted and ready to go for winter. Hell of a good deal. This tractor, when new, back in 2000, would have been about 20 grand, and we spent just a little under half of that at the end of May to buy it back. So, very nice machine, works really well. This was an upgrade. There we go. This was an upgrade from a 27-year-old 42-inch cut Dixon with an 11-horse gas engine. So, it's a much-needed upgrade. Plus, it'll do all the other things like plow the driveway, snow blow the driveway, mow the yard, got a loader, implement pickup on the back. Couldn't be happier with this. And here's the cluttered barn. I guess it really isn't messy, it's just disorganized, like I said. Excuse me. We've been piling stuff in here. There's the snowblower for the Kubota I was telling y'all about. And down in there to the left of the Troy-Bilt's the subframe, which I got to get put on here in the next couple weeks. And it won't snow a bit probably. Old Cubby earned her keep when we did the driveway. She got to tug along the yard roller, so that was a good exercise for it. Get the chimney up, put back where it belongs. This whole area here needs organized and cleaned up. Get my rain barrels where they belong since we took them all apart. Slowly bagging the fire pit ash and getting rid of it. And there's the old Dixon, left to die. I can show you a little bit better what my rain barrels look like on the bottom. These are just standard 3/4 fittings. This had a threaded piece in that cap, threads in that cap, so I just used a coupler. Had threads on one end and it was smooth on the other, without threads. Glued the elbow on, short piece of PVC, a ball valve, another short piece, another elbow, and then a fitting with a thread on it that the garden hose could hook up to. And here's what goes on the top. This is my collection point. The water comes in off the downspout, goes through that screen and into the barrel. Like I said, pretty easy project to build, nothing major. Probably took about a day to clean all the barrels and design how to make everything fit, and then how to set them up on cinder blocks and make all that fit. We got a lot of junk. One of the sad parts this year was that the freezer got full of apples before we got this red tree picked, the Red Delicious tree picked this year. We lost a lot of apples. And this year they didn't stay very good looking for long. They got stung by a lot of insects. There was yellow jackets boring into them. There was some nice size apples though, but like that one right there, got a big hole in the side. And that's the way they were as soon as they started getting any size at all on the tree. And just everywhere. And I gotta watch where I step because a lot of them are rotten because of the freeze we had. And you can see probably the deers. The deers are back here eating on them. That's good. That'll keep them fed. Probably the coon are back here too, I imagine. Got a lot of critters back in here. Now that the sun's up, oh, there's another apple. As you can see, something's been running from there all the way around. So here's what's left of the pepper plants. Pretty raggedy, don't they? Freeze definitely got them. The rhubarb actually got some size to it this year, and we didn't get a chance to cut it off yet. It'll be hardy down to 20 below, but it needs to be cut back and a cone put on top of it for the winter so it don't freeze out. And the tomatoes are all but gone. There's a few green ones on there yet, but for the most part we're done for the growing season of tomatoes up here in Ohio. Oh well, we had a good year. Got a lot of tomatoes off this. Still got some in the fridge. I'm not a big red tomato eating fan. I like the orange ones. The red ones, they tear my belly up. Acid reflux I got real bad as I get older. And got to eat the yellow ones if I can. But I still enjoy the red ones. And now that the sun's come up, you can see even more how much of a disarray this is in here. Oh well, I got time to kill here. I'm trying to mow some grass later today. Maybe the frost gets off soon enough. A lot of people I know are done mowing for the season. They've taken their mower decks off, cleaned their mowers up, winterized them, and packed them away for a long winter's nap. I think I probably still got a mowing or two in this yard yet. The only reason I say that's because by Tuesday it's supposed to be back up to 60 degrees again for a few days with rain. I don't think she's done growing yet. Well, the loader is off, and my second attempt at doing this so far this year. It didn't come out real bad, but I need to get some gravel in here because this drops off back in this corner. I kind of raked it out a little bit, made it a little bit easier to get in there. You got to tie up this one cylinder because it'll just hang out there in no man's land if you don't. And watch your grease if you have one of these, because this one was freshly greased not too long ago by yours truly. I knew it was going to be a mess, but you just got to remember it's there and not put your hands on it. Anyway, pull it in here, tilt the bucket down 20 degrees. Keep it straight as you can. Make all your adjustments and pull your pins. They'll be loose. The other one's back on the tractor. I'll show you that here in a minute. Then you disconnect your hydraulic lines and basically back away from the thing. Now when I pull in here in the spring, I'll just tilt this bucket. I pull in far enough that I can hook my lines back up. I'll tilt this bucket down. That'll bring this whole thing back up, and at the same time I can tilt these arms back straight, back so they're straight with the tractor. They'll fit in these sockets here, and then pull into it, put the pins back in it, hook it up, take these legs off, these support legs down here, and drive away from it. Piece of cake. And here we go. Everything's about as neat as I can get it. Stuff put away for the winter. Much better than what it was. But the only thing, I got to pull a few of these mowers out just to winterize. And my tiller. Got to make a top for this yet today. No biggie. I like to store my trailer inside for the winter because, one, I store the lawnmowers inside of it, and two, it's just out of the way for winter. Back here's the loader. Like I said, everything just kind of fits together like a puzzle back here, and it works pretty seamlessly. So everything's kind of piled, but it looks better than what it did. Sure does. And lastly, this is what the old beast looks like without the loader on. And so you gotta take that control box off and remount it once the loader frame's going. It sure does lighten the load, that's for sure. Well guys, I want to thank you again for joining me for Random Video 17. And I want you all to remember, you're the reason why I have this YouTube channel. If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have a reason to post these videos up here. So, thanks again for stopping by and checking in. And I'll talk at you all later. Have a good day. Dag radio. Good for another 10 minutes at least.